Good day, loves. Welcome back to episode 106 of the Holistic Freedom Secrets podcast. Today is Cleanse Day, and we're diving into the autoimmune connection. The autoimmune connection. So, talking about detoxifying your surroundings for lasting wellness. Whew! If you are ready, if you are steady, if you're ready to go. Today's a special episode. And I'm happy to get into it. And we have a birthday, a solar return, if you will, an Earth Day, all the things today that I am celebrating with someone special. So if you're joining us, welcome. If you don't know who I am, who we are, hey love, I'm Coach Tensi.
I'm Coach Soul.
And we are Ufulu Child. Ufulu means freedom, and we are holistic health coaches, holistic performing artists, so much.
Yeah, and it is the anniversary of my birthday today.
Yay!
So happy anniversary between me and my mama.
Yes.
I'm my mom's fifth.
Blessings. Wow. So this is a special day. You are 33, entering your 34th year, you said, right? So
and I'm just thinking too, like family is super cool, right? Because so my mom had 5, and she already has 1, 2, 3, 9, 10 grandkids.
Wow.
She has 10 grandkids.
Multiplication. Exponential. Well, it's not exponential because that would have been 25, but that's pretty awesome. And this is a well. Is there anything that you want to share about cleansing or anything like that? We're talking about detoxifying the home. Before we dive into the things, any thoughts?
It's really important to, when you listen to podcasts that are focused on lifestyle improvement and the optimization of habits, habit formation or habit stacking, or making a routine out of health and wellness, it's really important to take what you can take now as your next natural step and leave the rest to fall into place as you catch a rhythm with the things that you can take now, and not to rush to be so perfectly aligned with absolutely everything you hear in the podcast episodes, because there's no amount of effort you can put in to become perfect. You can't put in a perfect amount of effort ever, or any amount of effort and become perfect ever. And so the goal is not to share with you things that if you don't do them, or if you don't start to do them immediately, you are missing an opportunity to become better. It's not that. It's that here's an option for you, and if you do add this or add something from this into your routine, then you probably will at least be able to do more good in your own life and more good in other people's lives because of it, right? But not that if you don't do it, you're not becoming better. You can still become better through other means, or through just more patience and more, um, going within, and more just learning things like that. So it's not about you're not becoming better if you don't do these things. It's about you can do these things, or some of these things, or a part of these things, and it can result in you bettering yourself, or you bettering the environment for somebody else. And it's a beautiful thing if it does.
Thank you, babe.
There's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of from podcasters to I don't even know what to call it. There's a whole lot of saturation in the realm of self-improvement, health and wellness, self-help, mind mastery, meditation, yoga, all of these things that we touch on in this podcast. And with all of that information, sometimes it can feel like, I'm not doing enough. They are doing more.
That overwhelm can creep in too.
Imposter syndrome and overwhelm and all of these things can creep in. And so to prevent that from overtaking you completely, just hold true to the fact and stand on the fact that it's not in doing the things that brings the improvement. It's an internal change that can be facilitated by doing some of these things that brings the improvement.
Be, then do, then have.
Yep.
Right on. And I just want to add in, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because especially something that I experienced whenever I was starting to make these changes, because I was not in a household that was, super, no toxins in anything. We cleaned with bleach. We had the Clorox wipes. We used the Dawn dish soap. And I even, would make my bubble bath with Dawn. Stuff like that. And yes, we had some things like we didn't have, aluminum in the deodorants or fluoride in the toothpaste, stuff like that. But it's definitely a journey. And I know, especially when I was looking into all of the ways that toxins are snuck into products, at first I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta throw everything out, and what am I gonna swap it out with? And it was this clunky transition. Then it didn't really need to be, because it became stressful. It became almost a burden to change everything all at once. So because we are talking about holistic freedom, and because your journey is going to look completely different from mine or his or anybody else's, and because you are also a working mama, most likely, and you are also most likely trying to juggle your time between your marriage, your kids, your job, or your passions, and an autoimmune condition, trying to manage that. Um, so the health journey is going to need some flexibility. You're going to need some grace. Give yourself some grace. And we're going to talk about some things that if you do swap it, then hey, boom, 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 check, check, check. I am, helping myself in a way that I never did before. And that's amazing, an amazing act of self-love. So you can celebrate every micro win as opposed to dreading the stuff that you're not doing, right? That's the mind shift that's going to be necessary. So let's get into it.
Awesome. So firstly, let's just talk about how to understand the impact that toxins have on autoimmune conditions, right? There's environmental toxins that disrupt your hormones. They're found in the air. They're found in the products that we use, the cleaning products, the skincare products, the hair care products, the food that we eat.
The sunscreen.
Yeah, all of that, right? And there's a link between these toxins and autoimmune conditions. Of course, different conditions, different links, but there's a link between introducing toxins on a daily basis to the human body and experiencing an ongoing condition that's either uncomfortable or painful, whatever degree you have an autoimmune disorder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And oftentimes these toxins are also throwing off our hormones. So we don't know why we're irritable. We don't know why we're feeling like we don't have a lot of motivation or drive. We don't know why we're so fatigued. And oftentimes whether it's triggering this inflammatory response in the body. So inflammation is a word that breaks down to basically mean like it's an inferno, like a flame, like a fire in your cells. Like your cell's house is on fire, and it's trying to.
Yeah, the root word of inflammation is flame.
Mm-hmm. So it's trying to put it out somehow. It's trying to put out that fire. So when we limit the amount of toxins that we are taking in, whether it's stuff that we are like knowingly eating and we know what's in it, or stuff that we don't know, because we haven't looked at the label, or we looked at the label but we didn't know what it really meant, you know. So there's some common toxins that are like the biggest offenders, and
So I just
what?
I had a thought that it's so stupid. I hope you guys out there are at least 28, 27 years old, because this thought is just it's not gonna mean anything to you when I share it if you're under those ages, most likely. But there's a movie called Major Pain.
Oh.
And when I said, yeah, the root word of inflammation is flame, after a few seconds, I thought to myself, I hope that's correct. I think that's correct. I'm very confident that that's correct, because that's what it sounds like. Inflammation, flame is the root word there. But there's a scene in with the comedy movie Major Pain, where he says unity, the root word in unit without the Y. And he's blatantly wrong, and that's not how root words work. They don't work with the bigger word being the root word. But that's what I I was like, is that correct? And then I just remembered Major Pain.
I love that came to your mind because that was hilarious. So now y'all,
I had to let that laugh out a little bit.
If y'all are under 25 years old and you've never seen the movie, or you've never seen the movie Major Pain, because it was like low-key a black movie. Anyway, but check it out. Look up a clip on YouTube.
Yes. No, you need the whole movie. Watch the movie.
Watch the
movie. It's like, it's like an hour, 40 minutes.
The root word in unity.
I know Affirm Life Daily probably seen Major Pain.
Have you seen Major Pain? Okay. So, but yes, let us know in the comments. Grand Rising
what
Love. So yes, but
okay. Back to the topic. In a lot of the cleaning products that we use, there are volatile organic compounds.
They code name VOCs.
VOCs, volatile organic compounds. And these are organic, meaning life, living. They can do stuff, whether it's corrode, they can do stuff, right? Organic like compounds.
Soil is organic.
That to the human body and to the human systems, like Earth. if you smell the fumes of it, whatever, it causes volatile reactions. It breaks things down that shouldn't be broken down, or it releases things that shouldn't be released, and lowers our defenses against certain things that our defenses shouldn't be lowered against. So volatile organic compounds are in a lot of, especially cleaning products that have a strong smell.
Oh, like remember those commercials about Pine Sol?
Mm-hmm. That's the power of Pine Sol, baby.
Yeah, I used to really want Pine Sol after watching those commercials.
We used to use a lot of
Clorox wipes, the Windex. I'm when we get bigger, we probably can't be saying all them names, like the company names.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a personal. As I'm saying, it's not a personal attack. Okay, y'all. But yeah, so in the VOCs or volatile organic compounds, and when they say organic, it's not organic like marketing organic to mean that it's no pesticides or anything like that in it. But what we're talking about here is stuff that in the lab they've created, and they've tried to change something that came from nature and now it's out of balance. And oftentimes you can find it in those cleaning products or paints, varnishes, waxes, say on furniture or products that we have in the home. And then like degreasing stuff, even cosmetic and beauty products
Mhm.
have these things in them.
And you
And
think about some of, like high
Mhm.
school girls, whatever, like how much
How much was in that
models, actors and actresses,
Walmart makeup I used to.
yeah, how
Yeah.
much caked on um, organic compounds that cause volatile reactions in our body they put on a daily basis, just going to work or just going to school, in the name of impressing people.
Mhm. And with these, like they give off these vapors, and the strong smell has been linked to different health conditions. So we're talking about autoimmunity and specifically damage to the liver, damage to the kidneys, the central nervous system. So anything connected to the nerves and the brain, like dementia or like um, nerve pain, yada 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 yada, Alzheimer's, all them things, or even like ADHD is connected to brain health, right? And it's a proven carcinogen. So carcinogen just basically means it causes cancer. So these are also in air pollutants. So when you look up at the sky and you see them streaks that aren't clouds, that too. So we have to,
Yeah,
take certain measures just to protect ourselves against some of these things. So we'll get into some of those options as we're talking along. But what's the second biggest offender?
pesticides.
We already talked about. Okay.
No, we're skipping that one. We're gonna come back to that one because the
Okay.
second biggest one is pesticides. Pesticides, heavy metals, and things that are all up in the soil for all of our fruits and veggies, and all up in the actual meat of the meats. Um, because the meats, when the meat is alive, when the when the animal's alive, they're eating the Monsanto feed and all of that has within it all of the pesticides and the whatever's
Mm,
preserving it and chemically, making it last really long so that they can have,
that long
tons and
shelf
tons of
life
feed and on the shelf for
and the big
super
old
long.
turkey. Yeah.
Craziness.
And
Pesticides
hold
are
on,
go
before
ahead.
you dive deeper, you said Monsanto. For those that don't know, Monsanto is over a lot of the genetically modified foods.
Yeah,
So,
they own the patents
genetically
to like a
modified
whole lot of them.
seeds, genetically modified, produce, GMOs. So, GMOs, you hear that? That's genetically modified, often associated with Monsanto,
Yep.
and they bring the body out of balance.
Yep. And I think they're government funded. They're huge, huge, huge corporation that owns the patents to a whole lot of GMOs and like the science behind it. So the molecule sequence of a lot of GMOs and all of that, like they're huge, and they provide a lot of the seeds. They provide a lot of the feed. They provide a lot of the fertilizer for the fertilizing the soil. They provide almost everything that has to do with how the animals
How food
eat
is
and
grown.
how we eat and
Uh-huh.
how we grow our food and things
Yeah. And
outside of regulated organic pasture raised, like organic pasture raised, outside of the niche health based methods of feeding people. Monsanto probably owns a portion of what you got going on your commercial farm.
yeah, and when we talk about pesticides and heavy metals, we'll loop those in too.
Hmm.
These are in stuff like, okay, think when we're talking about detoxifying the home, one of the biggest places where these would be is like you're trying to do pest control, right? So pest control, Roundup for your yard, if you have a yard, or different things like that. Also, heavy metals are in a lot of the um, products that we use. So heavy metals, think aluminum foil in your kitchen. Think the heavy metals that may be in your water. So if we don't have a water filter that filters out heavy metals, then you may be drinking heavy metals, which leads to
You are
because it has been tested and proven many a times.
many a city, many a township.
And typically the Brita, those filters that you find at Target or Walmart or similar at home.
While they are pretty good, we're not hating on Brita.
They don't
filter heavy metals.
Yeah. So
you want to get a filter
that
says heavy metals in the list of things that it filters out.
Yeah. So some of the side effects of pesticides, skin conditions. I suffered with eczema for 20 years of my life. And so if you have like any sort of like flare-ups on your skin, or allergies are just getting flared up, any gastrointestinal stuff like nausea, vomiting, or just like abdominal pain, soreness, or gut issues, irritation to that area, or it affects the brain, and your nerves, so headaches, dizziness, if you experience that, also connected to low iron, things like that, or iron being out of balance. Muscle weakness, numbness, and like prickling or tingling sensations that just keep going, or numbness that just keeps going. Seizures, breathing conditions also, so coughing, wheezing, trouble breathing, shortness of breath is also some of the stuff, and then an increased likelihood of cancer. So oftentimes, like when I've watched several documentaries of like childhood cancer, and they're like, we don't know what happened, how she came out with it, and then you find out they were living next to a landfill, or the daughter was playing in fields that were sprayed with pesticides every day, and
or even like the older gentleman that had a crazy reaction in his hand that also ended up being cancerous just from using Roundup for his job.
Yeah. So this is important because too many kids are getting diagnosed with autoimmune conditions, whether it's non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or it's something related to the like neuro divergence, or it's something else. So let's keep going. Let's talk about, want to dive into some examples of heavy metals or side effects? Or
so with the heavy metals, these are common symptoms and associations, right? So the first one on the list is mercury, which is a heavy metal.
In a lot of the injections.
And yes, that's exactly what I'm glad you said that, because that's exactly what I was going to say first. And we usually are introduced to mercury fresh out the womb in the hospital.
Yeah, this is crazy.
It's so crazy. And so you know what that means. We're not going to say the V word because whatever. But fresh out the womb, right in the hospital, we are introduced to, among other heavy metals, mercury. And mercury,
lead too.
So many different things, from poor liver function, fatty liver disease, right? Memory loss,
cognitive impairment,
and then mental health disorders like severe depression. All of these things are associated, sort of common symptoms of, when the parents, or when somebody has enough money to look into do all of the testing in their body, they find heavy metals like mercury.
And these are in like a out of balance form, because sea moss has a lot of these metals, but they're in perfect harmony. So they're counteracting each other, and they're actually supporting the health of the body.
Yeah.
This is different. Okay. Next
is lead. Lead is found in a whole lot of different things. And lead can lead to joint and abdominal pain, joint pain, blue lining in the gums,
anemia.
We all know of a couple people that have blue lining in the gums, even if it's not super duper severe. At least if you lived in the hood, you know a few people. Pale skin, constipation, diarrhea. These things are associated with exposure to too much lead.
Brain fog, mood instability as well. So it's like every day is PMS.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. And then we don't need to like spend a whole lot of time diving into all of them, but you can do a quick little search.
Yeah, basically some long-term or chronic exposure to heavy metals, and there are probably billions of people with chronic exposure to heavy metals because of how many product, and I mean to date. So since they were introduced into like the public products, up to date, probably billions by now.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's an exaggeration. Chronic exposure to heavy metals, some of the things that it results in or associated with is neurological damage, cancer, reproductive issues, of course, reproductive issues.
Of course.
They always target the family. Immune system dysfunction, kidney damage, liver damage, and heart problems.
So, it's important to talk about detoxifying. So let's get into some ways to detoxify the home.
Let's do it.
First, let's think about the air, right? So first lens that we can look through is air quality. When it comes to this, one of the biggest things that you can do is have some sort of air filter, like a dehumidifier with a HEPA, HEPA air purifier, air filter that's quality, because we want to take out a lot of those air pollutants that we talked about, like the VOCs.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also open your windows, get some fresh air in. I know they spray the air out there too, but whatever. Nature's still healing. So you still got to get fresh air. You got to move the air in your home so that there's no stagnancy, so that it's less likely that you'll have stuff that's really deadly, like mold in your home, mildew, stuff like that. Back in the olden days, they associated that type thing with leprosy and cast everyone out of the space and the place, and if they had basically mold poisoning. So next, what can we do? Non-toxic cleaning alternatives.
Get you some vinegar, get you some baking soda, get you some essential oils, get you some actual cloves.
Maybe even some borax.
Get you some borax. Yep, some borax. And just YouTube home remedies for cleaning products.
Yes, DIY, make your own recipes right there. Okay. I like to fake sing sometimes. It's great.
It's great. And it's funny because they're often very, very, very affordable. Because
yes.
I mean, first of all, like,
and hydrogen peroxide is also great.
Hydrogen peroxide,
great.
Simple soap and water and or vinegar based cleaning cleans a whole lot of different things. You don't need something for your tiles and something else for your wood surfaces and something else for your floor and something else for your
it's literally all purpose.
Yeah, there's all purpose in it. Thank you. There's an all purpose feature to a lot of the DIY cleaning products that you can make with simple things. Also, for the mechanics out there and for people that do a little bit of plumbing and stuff like that, stuff like Coca-Cola, you stop drinking it and start using it as an agitator for cleaning stuff, and it works.
Word, you trying to get up that oil stain real quick from your
rust, oil.
Also, baking soda does pretty good. So, oh yes, we have a comment in Instagram land for those in Facebook and YouTube land. Firm Life Daily, aka Cynthia, the amazing person, shares lemon juice and borax for the dishwasher.
Lemon juice.
That is a good hack.
For the dishwasher.
Thank you for sharing that, because I did not know.
I didn't know that.
Dishwasher hacks.
I didn't even know. We didn't even know.
This is why we need community. Okay. So yes. Also, if you have something that is moldy or mildew and you're just trying to cut that out, of course, baking soda and vinegar, but add into it some hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah.
That'll, yeah. Okay.
Minimize your plastics.
Let's
The
talk about
plastic
plastics.
containers can be swapped for stainless steel or glass. And just get a whole bunch of
Or copper, depending.
glass or metal or copper. Silicone is
food grade silicone.
because silicone can even take hot
Yes, it can.
stuff, hot liquid, whatever, and it won't seep into the food like plastic does. So I digress. Using less plastic containers. I'm getting a lot of happy birthday text messages on my phone.
Hey.
It's my birthday, Cynthia.
Yay. 33. Black Kings born in November.
You feel me?
November 2-6. Yay. Okay. Dr. Sadie's birthday.
Yep.
Yeah.
And avoid heating food in plastic containers
or freezing.
Also,
or refrigerating.
For real, no, but for real with the freezing, because with the freezing it like sticks to it. So when you take it out and you try and take it out of the container and it's sticking to it, and then you finally pull it out, there's a lot of plastics that got up in there.
A lot of microplastics get absorbed by the food or whatever you put into plastic containers when it's frozen and when it is heated. Also, when it's refrigerated, because it's something about that 41 degrees and below that that the microplastics will just be absorbed into whatever's in that.
Well, that's because cold condenses.
Okay. Yeah. So
why you say my bad?
Oh,
you good?
Unless you said happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You straight. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So why are plastics important? Why is it important? It's an endocrine disruptor.
Yes.
Which basically means it throws off your hormones. So that means it throws off your mood. It throws off all your bodily systems.
That's it. And that's it. And the throwing off all of your bodily systems also includes your regulators for how you're treating other people and how you're treating yourself. Ooh. So if you don't want to sink into or stay in a mode of mistreating others or mistreating yourself in little ways throughout the day, like little tiny spurts throughout the day, then try and get rid of especially freezing or heating, but also storing your food in plastic as much as you can. Yeah.
If it's room temperature, it's maybe not in the summertime. But, once we get into refrigeration and all that, or, put it in a microwave type thing, get you one good silicone little to go Tupperware. Get you one good set of silicone and you be set.
You be good.
You be set.
Be good. Maybe get 2 sets for a family of 4.
Word.
Also, just some basics that don't need to be elaborated on. Desk cleaners and wipes that are non-toxic. You can also make your own via making your own spray and paper towel.
For the babies, real quick, baby wipes, water wipes is a great swap out for your baby wipes. Just thinking of your baby room, low key.
Try to get you some bamboo or some recycled materials for your ergonomics, and for your.
What does that even mean?
Well, the office supply and furniture wipes and clean off whatnot. Your spray and the wipes that you clean off your furniture and your office supplies with.
I'll look at the definition later, but I hear ergonomics and I always think of like joint supporting things or like stuff that supports back health. I don't know. That's the only place where I see the name in context. So I'm not really sure what it means, but
Equipment
looking it up.
design as for a workspace intended to maximize productivity. So
Okay.
ergonomics itself is about the
Something to
design.
maximize productivity.
I've only heard it at work, and they're usually talking about your desk stuff. So
Word.
I digress. I don't know what words mean. I just like words.
So when you're looking for materials, and this also applies to clothing as well.
Yep.
So for materials, if you can find something that's like wood,
Natural fiber,
some sort of woods or bamboos, natural fibers, yes. So if it's like cloth, and I look for cotton or linen or wool, those real natural things. And it's worth it with clothes to look and see on that the label. Does it say nylon, rayon, or any of these other things? Look up what it's made out of. And oftentimes you see it's made out of plastic. So don't get those workout clothes that are just spandex if you're going to be working out in them. Maybe you just want to be cute and just walk around. But once you start sweating, your body your pores are open, and it takes in all of the plastic. So.
And there's a reason why these type of clothing items are heavily advertised to women.
Yes.
And, especially young women.
We have 80% of all of the autoimmune conditions.
Well, 80, yeah. Out of everybody that has autoimmune conditions, 80% are female. So,
yes.
When you're wearing clothing that's tight around your body and it's made out of plastic, right? Make no mistake, nylon, polyester, spandex, it's plastic. That's what it is, right? We got a website. Wear Packed. Oh, Wear Packed. Yeah.
I love it.
My first time seeing it. So Wear Packed, WEARPACT.com for organic cotton clothing.
Organic cotton clothes. Also, yeah, there's some others. So at least get the high places. So at least, try to get a good quality bra, underwear, undergarments. And if you do have shapewear, then y'all just I know. But like if you working out, please if you know you're gonna be sweating, please know. There you go. Yeah. At least there.
Yeah. And it's like you're wrapping this plastic around your body and then going, to therapy asking why you can't get your mood together. You know what I mean? It's a vicious cycle. Okay. And then screen time detox. We talk about this a lot in B-Day.
Ooh, because blue light is
minimizing your time in front of screens and being influenced even by the audio of screens. Just and not even minimizing it for the sake of like, okay, this much time, but minimizing it as far as like what you can help and how you can positively influence your day by introducing more natural sounds and natural lighting. That's what it means, right? So it's not like, I look at less screen time than you. It's like, no. I'm maximizing and optimizing my natural human earthling experience. Not so heavy on the digitizing myself. We've been going for a while, so I think we can save like some of the details for later.
But yeah, so minimizing blue light exposure is huge when it comes to screen time, especially when you first wake up and when you're going to bed. That 30 minutes to an hour range when you first wake up and then when you're going to bed. It's really helpful, especially when the sun is down, to start to wind down screen time. I know if you love the late night movie or you got to work late or something on your laptop, then some good swaps are get like a screen protector that has blue light blocking. So, or you can get glasses now where in the frames there's this film in it. I have some glasses like that. My glasses block blue light. So if I do need to work late or whatnot, it will help keep your eyes healthy. Because it is associated with poor eye health, strain, headaches, fatigue, sleep issues. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So thank you guys so very, very much for tuning into episode 106 of the Holistic Freedom Secrets podcast. I'm Coach Soul.
And I'm Coach Tensi, and I'm happy that we got to at least touch on some of these things. And of course, if we had all the time, we could dive and go on forever.
Yep.
But it's just about habit stacking. So we got these tiny micro changes. Pick one thing and maybe start with that when it comes to detoxifying your home.
Yeah, and yourself.
Yeah.
Get yourself a copy of Culture Control, Why the Love of Money is Objectively the Root of All Evil. Start to understand how and why you were influenced to do what you do and to respond how you respond, so that you can change for the better the way that you respond and the way that you act in regard to your daily influences. And of course, connect with people that are on the mission of attaining a higher level of freedom and joy in this life while we're still alive, and while we can actually influence that kind of change and not waiting for somebody else to do it, or some Christ figure to come from the heavens and do it for us. No shade and no disrespect. Culture Control is
just acknowledging that energy is in you and all things.
Culture Control is a book that serves as an introduction to real freedom for those that have a yearning for freedom but don't know exactly, in a world full of traps and deception and chains, how to go about attaining it. Also, we have an event coming up in January
For working
18th,
mamas.
for working mamas and families of
And
working
families.
mamas.
You can bring your babies.
You can bring your family.
Bring your family.
Bring everybody.
Yes.
January 18th is called Thrive Zone. It will feafeture movement. It will feature art, visual art. It will feature a workshop. It will feature
interactive.
Yeah, fun activities, as well as a concert.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely stay tuned for the link to that when it is ready. It's not ready yet, but we will obviously advertise it here on the podcast before anywhere else.
And we're going to be doing an extra special launch of a holistic freedom thing that we've been brewing up for the past year plus. So that's cool. Surprises coming. Yeah.
We will see you guys in the next one.
Take care, loves. We'll see you tomorrow for Fuel Day.